Hello, my dear Cancer. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of August 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And you can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. So the reading can go both ways. If I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reverse, that the person you're dealing with is feeling and acting in this way. The energy is the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. And for this reading, I will use the Druid Craft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gome, illustrated by Will Worthington. And I will start shuffling your cards. I also want to say it's not because you didn't hit the like button that the reading, the Cancer reading didn't come up top. It was because for some reason it wasn't displayed to so many people, so it wasn't so many that watched it. Sometimes it's like that with YouTube, that some readings will be watched a lot because it's advertised by YouTube, and some readings won't be advertised. So I'm thinking most my subscribers that have watched the latest Cancer reading. Okay, so that's why you went on the 6th place. It's not to any fault of you from you. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. Okay, my dear Cancer, when I open your deck here, I see the Four of Wands and 9 of Swords. So it's something that you have in your life that's actually very beautiful, and that gives you a sense of security, that you are making you anxious and fearful and afraid of losing something. So if we have something that's really wonderful, sometimes the fear of losing it can be suffocating. Okay, so it might also be that someone wants commitment maybe, and this is making you anxious, or you are anxious about a commitment that you want to make. It might also be like some kind of celebration. It can be some kind of festivity, maybe festivity plannings that might be making you anxious. It can also be about a house or about something else that's kind of a platform in your life, something that has the ability to give you security, but if you would be without it, you would be sad. Okay, so I call the Divine with Love and Light. And here we have the 6 of Swords together with the 4 of Wands. So you need to look into this, what it is that you think that you can't live without, or you feel so dependent upon. Sometimes we can have a very hard time telling other people that we love them and to admit to our love, because we don't want to become hurt or rejected. But here with the 6 of Swords, someone needs to tell the truth about how they really feel. So it might be that you need to tell the truth, or someone needs to tell the truth to you. So 6 of Swords is about union between head and heart, and being able to express also with words what's inside your heart. And we know that there's a lot of people out there that has a real difficulty with doing this. It's like they are gagged by fear. They don't want to say something and then not being able to stand up for it, or maybe they will feel like they will say it and then the next minute they will change their mind. So they are not, there's someone here that doesn't really trust themselves fully. Okay, so I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and we see here the 7 of Cups with the 4 of Wands. So even if you have like all the things in the world that you want, you're still anxious. So there's still things that needs to be sorted out. It might not really have anything to do with your current situation. It might be ghosts from the past and the way that you are projecting things. So you might project certain like personal abilities or other things on your partner, for example, thinking that they will leave you, or they will cheat on you, or they will deceive you in this and this and this way, or you are putting, it might be that you're projecting onto your friends or co-workers or family or whatever, something that you fear is going to happen. But that fear is something that has made a nest inside of you. It has made a home inside of you, and you kind of need to deal with it before it destroys important parts of your life. Because if we get very sad and very dramatic in a situation that's really everything is okay, we might destroy that situation. For example, a person that has found the love of their lives, but now they are being so scared of losing that person that they become rabid, like real jealous, like real dark jealous like this, and they don't want to be jealous. And if they are jealous, they will destroy this beautiful thing what they have. But it doesn't have to be jealousy. That only one very common theme that I was bringing up. It can be so many different things that makes you feel anxious and worried about losing this beautiful thing that you have. It might be also feelings of not being worthy. So when you actually finally get this what you want, you don't feel worthy. Or it might even be like this, that someone tells you that they love you, and that kind of breaks the spell with the whole thing, because if they love you, there must be something wrong with them, since you are not worthy of love. So it's different. It seems like the psychological part of you, like how your psyche is working, is what's causing troubles for you right now. Maybe not really the outside. Of course, it can be the outside as well, or someone acting like this. It might be someone in your close environment that has maybe they are depressed or going through some really rough patch in their life when it comes to their emotions, and they can't really be happy, the ordinary happy self that they used to be. And this might, of course, worry you as well. So I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Cancer viewers. So I want my dear Cancers to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so it was quickly shuffled this time around. I will just tune in to you and your energy for a little while here. So, my dear Cancer, this is your future. So this is probably second part of August going into September. And this is maybe first part of August or entirely August, and this is the past, so it might be your entire life or just July. And here we have a Princess of Swords. So someone has said something like bluntly out loud that might have caused a little of this anxiety here. But we have the 10 of Cups, so it was probably told with love, but it's something here. It might be that you wants to say something out of love, but you feel that it's not the right time, or you want to wait, or you're afraid to destroy something or make someone run for the hills. If you are speaking up about this, what you want, maybe you want commitment, marrying, this is long-lasting relationships, family, babies, or you want to, it might be a creative project or a work as well, something that you really love to do. But here it can be someone that getting too much responsibility, feeling overburdened, or kind of running for the hills because they don't want to talk about this. Three of Swords is something that's it's some kind of truth that lies between you and another person, and that might be destructive. But from your end, it doesn't seem like you want destruction. You want love, but you're afraid that maybe if you out this what you want, the other person's truth will come out. Maybe they will say, no, I don't want to marry you. I want to move to Tibet, okay, or Morocco, and I didn't think of this before, and I really need to leave already tomorrow. So this might be your fear as well, that if you would pop the question to someone, they will realize that they don't want a life together with you. It might be this, or so it's someone being afraid of speaking their truth, even if it seems there's a very loving reason to why we want to speak the truth. Maybe we don't want to destroy a good thing with putting in too much serious business into this situation. So people really have to think about the future and things like this when actually things are moving quite well. And here we have the now, and we have a Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is usually a very calm, mature adult person. But here I'm feeling like the feeling of as a person enduring. It's like you're trying to be the bigger person, trying to accept the situation and be happy with what you already have. But it actually feels like you're just enduring this. Prince of Wands. You really want to move on and have this discussion, but you fear what you know what you have, but you don't know what you are going to get. So you don't want to tell the truth or push someone into taking maybe the next step in the relationship, or going to your boss and saying, I need more money for the work I do because I don't feel appreciated in the way that things are right now. But Nine of Pentacles is a good card. However, it kind of shows that you are able to live through whatever would happen, like whatever consequences there would be. You would pull through because you have found yourself, or you have become very grown up with yourself, so you are ready to take care of yourself. But maybe that is not what you want. You want this dream and not just, living by day to day. You want it all. So it's Queen. I'm thinking, Queen, I want it all. Yes, and I want it now. So, yes, and here we have the Moon. So the Moon is Cancer, brooding, going into deep emotional questioning. And is this really everything? And shouldn't it be more? And I should be more happy by now. And do they really love me? It doesn't feel like that. The last action that they did might have told me otherwise, and looking for ghosts everywhere and signs of things going wrong. So I'm thinking the first thing you need to do if you're a Cancer and watching this reading is to start to give attention to your on the feelings inside of you that you haven't been working through, the real big fears in your life, and starting to, give them attention and sort it out. Maybe go to a therapist or someone that you can talk with before it's too late, before this is making like an entry in your life in a way that you really didn't want it to. I'm not saying that you're crazy here or over emotional. I'm just saying that there's some kind of trauma here that it seems like we don't want it to destroy our lives, but it's there and it risks destroying the happiness that we have. So it's better to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and seek this through. Find out what it is that's hiding here in the Moon. So the Moon is the light that can guide us when it's the darkest hour. So it's our friend. It's just the darkness that's can be full of illusions and making you fearful. But the Moon isn't the problem. The light isn't the problem. It's the things that you don't know. That's the problem. The things that you feel, but you don't know where they are coming from, how they are kind of jumping at you when you least expected it. Maybe being jealous when you shouldn't have to be jealous, or becoming angry or sad or upset, or things like this. If you feel pain in a situation, you always need to check if you are being badly treated. That's the first thing. But if no one is treating you badly and you still feel bad, then there's some kind of memory. Cancer is water, so storing a lot of memory. You have memory like a horse or an elephant. So you will probably have emotional memories of most of your past lives. And it's good with collecting things. It gives you wisdom, but it can be a certain kind of like nostalgia to carry around old pains and old lifetimes and old lovers and things like this. But you shouldn't keep it if you if you're hurt by it. So it might be some kind of trauma that needs to be dissolved, like you need to go to the bottom of it, like to the root cause, the time when it happens. So hypnotherapy for some of you, or something else that can trigger to make you find those memories. Here in the past we had the Four of Swords. I have already forgotten. Yes, Princess of Swords. Yes, this was this story with someone wants to tell something what the other one doesn't want to hear. And it might be that it's a girl that wants to tell something and a masculine person that doesn't want to hear. Or it can be the feminine side in you wants to tell you something, but your masculine side doesn't want to hear it. It's a four, so it's connected to the Emperor. Four of Swords. Four of Swords is, it's like this a treaty, a peace treaty, but it's not really peace. Okay, you can see this. He's bitter still. This person. There's no war anymore, but he's not happy. So something is being unresolved. Something is being not talked about. Something has been left unsaid or undone or unsorted. We need to sort out the conflicts that we have had instead of having them reappearing again and again and again and again in our relationships. We need to sort them out and really talk things through, even if we fear that the other one will, you know, if we push with this person and say, well, we need to talk about this because it's a thing that reappearing in our situation again and again and again. And if we don't talk it through, it's going to haunt us forever. But for some reason, this person has been, I'm feeling that tension. It's like they're, if I would touch them here somewhere, they would be like a rock because they are so in tension. So there's something that this person is hiding from both you and themselves. Some kind of big fear, I would say, that makes them put themselves in this situation of refusing. So it's like being together with like a atomic bomb or someone, like you need to walk on eggshells to not make this person go haywire, or you know, you try to talk with them and they just leave the room. It's like you didn't matter, or what you feel didn't matter. So we have this Queen, I Want It All, and then we have this other song, How to Save a Life. So Queen, Want It All, and How to Save a Life. I just write this up, and it's not, I'm not sure if I'm going to put them all in the description box. We'll see. I need to fill that in, but you can check it out anyway. So this is a difficult person to deal with because they have made up their mind, and it's something it's like forbidden area for you you can't cross it. That might be you, of course, as well. But here we have rebirth, and rebirth, it's Judgment Day. It's the trumpet, it's calling. Here it's the naked child coming out from the tower. It's not going to be protected by the tower anymore. And here we have the rabbit. It's rebirth, but it's also like something really fragile that is easily scared. Okay, so it usually lives in this tower or in a hole in the ground, and it doesn't want to come out. It doesn't want to be approached because it fears everything that can be the most little dangerous. So if you think that this is someone's masculine side, like the masculine side to a person, they might not ever have been allowed to be vulnerable or feel fear, because they are supposed to be tough, they are supposed to be rough. Masculine don't have tears, yada yada. Yes, you know this, the demands that we have on masculine people, and this can also be for a female, having the same standards. I'm not supposed to cry, I'm supposed to be tough, I can't make anyone see that I'm hurt, things similar to this. But here the trumpet is calling, so the divine is calling and saying that what is so vulnerable and so naked in this situation needs to come out and be exposed. So the issue needs to be discussed, even if it makes this person run to the top of the tower again and refuse to talk with you and lock the door. Then you need to try again later, because this issue again with the spirals, is a karma that needs to be sorted out. So people can run, they can hide, but the divine is still going to have the same demand that this needs to be sorted out. This needs to be talked about, because there's freedom on the other end when we don't fear ourselves, our own emotions, our own reactions anymore, but actually can stand up tall for who we are and what we believe in and what we feel. So someone needs to get a pair and become more like allow more truth to shine through in their lives. And here we have the lady. So we have a Four of Swords that's connected to the Emperor, Judgment, and then the lady. So I'm thinking that your archetype, the child and the witch, kind of is waiting for the warrior to also step into the game. So there might be a divination between the divine feminine and the divine masculine in your life, but it's also going on inside of you. So these two, it's Major Arcana card. It seems to be on board with what the divine wants, but this entity here, this part of you is still stalling. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. So another song. We don't need to talk about it anymore. Yesterday is just a memory. Okay, so, and we close the door. So this is what the divine masculine wants to do. They just wants to act like it didn't ever matter and it was not important, and they rather like sacrifice their whole life and the content in it than admitting to this what is not supposed to be talked about. But it's something beautiful. So but it's obviously making some person freak out here, so, and be heartbroken a little bit as well. So maybe when we fall in love, sometimes we become very vulnerable and we don't want that. So there's other songs as well, No Woman No Cry, and other things like this that can point this out, how a person can react when they actually fall in love, and there's some kind of beauty in this situation. They feel vulnerable and fragile, and like all the world's spears are pointed to them and they can be killed any second. They feel like a deer in headlight when usually they might feel like a wolf or some other predator. So they don't like this. It's an uncomfortable situation. But this situation also promises spiritual growth, because if this person can face their fear and become like this, they will actually win themselves. And there's nothing to fear anymore. If we don't fear our own emotions, then what can you fear? Because it's how you feel about situations that made you judge them as good or bad. So if you can deal with your feelings, no situation will ever more become good or bad. It just is. You don't mind what happens. Then you have evolved into this, like these Major Arcana cards wants to talk about real spiritual growth, becoming a real person, like a soul inside a body, instead of just a human being getting by with their wounds and aches and pains, limping through the scene of their lives. So you're supposed to heal here, but someone is not wanting that because they feel it's very fearful. It would be the worst scenario ever, but really this scenario just wants to save them. But it's what it is. And here we see another bitter man that's not really happy with this situation. 10 of Pentacles is a beautiful card about value, the value you have built in your life. Sometimes these values might build up also a great responsibility. If you have built an enormous big house for yourself, there's enormous big you need to paint and you need to repair and fix. And if you have built like a big company, there's going to be a big problems as well with all employees and projects, and yes, this phone is never stopping ringing. If you have a marriage and you have a responsibility for the other person. If you have children, you have a responsibility for them. If you have a dog, you have a responsibility for them. So I'm thinking here the divine masculine inside of you wants to avoid responsibility, wants to like it's never good enough, or it's never catching up with the dream. So it's like a person always feeling that the grass is greener on the other side, and maybe there will come a more beautiful paradise on the other side of this corner, and they don't value the things that's there with them today. So this might be someone with this combination, fearing commitment, for example, and thinking that this would be the road to hell, and I would be forever doomed to carry home the bacon and feed all these mouths, and that would be the end of me. So we also have the masculine karma of having to be the provider and the protector of the family, and this has led to a lot of karma and pain and trauma when it comes to providing and protecting. So not only are you feeling the feelings for this situation, you feel the feelings of generation of men, maybe 10,000 or million years of trauma that's not that hasn't been digested. So the moment that this person steps on the aisle here with the judgment and are going to marry, they don't feel happy. They feel the burden of this ancestral pain that is not digested. And one reason to why it's not digested is because it's not admitted to. We can't admit to the pain, and when we can't admit to the pain, we can't digest it, and when we can't digest it, we can't heal, and when we can't heal, we can't get the wisdom of the situation, because we experience this trauma for a reason, to know better. So here this person is like trying to avoid their feelings, trying to avoid their old traumas, trying to avoid the responsibility of the everyday life, and they just wants to hit the road. And another song, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. So there's a lot of songs coming through for you, Cancer. It's like a whole orchestra here. So I'm thinking this is rather important, this with the divine masculine, and in the, it's like it's in a trap. It's trapped in this situation because there's no way out, because they can't digest their karma or trauma, and they don't want to be all alone, because that's boring too, and they don't want to be in this situation because they have so much anxiety that's not being resolved. So where to go? It's like a hammer to the head and just dunk, dunk, dunk until you have gotten a lobotomy, so you don't have to feel anything. So I'm feeling the stress of this person here that really has everything like served to them. They are just not particularly appreciative of the situation because of these unresolved things. And here we have a 5 of Pentacles. So that would be if they, either if they choose to not be in this family situation anymore, or to escape the relationship, or quit their job, or whatever, because it's too much burden from these past life things and childhood things. And then they will feel insignificant. So that's another masculine karma. I'm left out in the cold. No one cares about me. I don't mean anything. I will die, and I will be forgotten the next day. No one will come at my funeral. That's another very significant masculine thing. Working very hard to be significant and to be memorized, because male people doesn't give birth to children. They impregnate the woman that give birth to children, but males want to leave a legacy too that they can be sure of. So they want to have ground jobs, and people will write book to their memories and things like this. And here no one cares. And why do no one cares? Yes, because you fled all these situations, because you couldn't take responsibility for them, because you were freaking out, because you had a past life karma or an ancestral line that kind of all the ghosts of the past standing at your bed saying, well, you need to digest our pain for us, and then humans will be free. But the male person sleeping in the bed, or your male side to you, if you're a female person, is saying, but I can't digest pain. So how can you ask this from me? So this person is on a slippery slope down to their own. It's not that they have created this situation on their own. It has been a long lineage of people before them, and society and culture and conditioning. But now when they are standing here, they're really their own worst enemy. because they are not letting anyone love them, because they don't want to feel their feelings, because their feelings is the worst thing of all. But actually the feelings here is the solution. So that is what needs to happen, like a person breaking down. And we have a 10 and a 5, so maybe it's happening. And here we have the Sun. Okay, so that's kind of a breakdown too. But it seems to come here from the lady. And you know this, before we try to reach God through our minds, through our heads, we try to pretend that we didn't have a body. It was a very masculine approach, and it didn't lead to enlightenment. Now we actually need to go through our bodies, feel the feelings of the body, being our natural self, love ourselves, accept ourselves. This is Venus, it's earth, it's overflowing, it's abundance, riches. And here you have the Sun, that's Leo quality, but it's your soul. So it seems like your soul is the solution. Your soul can put attention inside the body, or the body can contain the soul if you let it. If you become this, it's again this child, purity, honesty, admitting to what is, and not letting go of the mask, letting go of the face that you have put up to endure whatever it is that you really don't endure. So with the Sun card here, it's the truth. Truth shall set you free. Someone sent me a interesting picture, very beautiful. The truth shall piss you off, and then it shall set you free. So first, when we get to know the truth, we will become pissed off. So it might be that the Divine Feminine here has gotten a little bit angry because the Divine Masculine seems to be like in the ice cold, thrown out in the cold, or thrown out, like you're not significant anymore, I don't care. And it's probably because she got tired, because she's bleeding here. It's really a clot, but it's kind of this with the birth and the blood and like this creation. It costs, it's painful to be strong and vulnerable and open with all these children around here, naked children. To be vulnerable like this, it costs. If only one is always vulnerable, and it doesn't have to be the feminine person, it can be a masculine person inside a relationship with the boss, with the wife, with the friends. It doesn't matter. Like a person that's open and vulnerable and try their best and try to be authentic, try to be loving, giving, unconditional with their love. And what they are getting back is someone that just isn't particularly happy. Like whatever you do, they are still like this. Everything is so sad and boring, and they are typically very ungrateful. But yes, this person has worked very hard to give it all. Yes, okay. And the other person has worked very hard to avoid. So it's some kind of tension, of course, between these entities, because one might feel like I'm building up and you are tearing down. And now I don't want to build up for you anymore. I see the truth with you. You are a slacker. You don't talk, you don't care, you don't take responsibility, you don't try to work things out with me. So I see the truth now, and it pisses me off, okay? So, but the truth shall also set you free. So this is someone that wants something really good, but it's very hard for the other to receive, since they are carrying this much pain. So it's not either one's fault. No one is to blame here. But I'm thinking this person here, this entity here, giving up and saying, okay, so I see the truth here. You're not really happy in this situation. This is what we shall do. It's taking responsibility and helping to find a solution to the situation, instead of carrying around this person that's so impossible. Like they are impossible for themselves, impossible for their surrounding, impossible for the divine that's not getting through to them. Like this astronaut lost, not in space this time, but in deep earth. So Nine of Pentacles, it feels here like something between this and this. So I'm thinking also the Divine Feminine feels left out in the cold by the Divine Masculine's inability to speak and to connect. So she might feel like, well, I have to do this on my own. This is how the divine masculine has been feeling all the time, that I need to do everything on my own. I don't have anybody to help me, because they have trouble seeing the reality, judgment, the sun, its truth, and seeing things from above. And here we have the lady. So it's not the truth, it's just how it feels because of thousands and thousands of years of the masculine being feeling so responsible and having to, most of all, it's humanity's eager to go to war. The first wars that's kind of recorded might be from India, or it might be the Trojan War. It depends what kind of sources we trust. But nevertheless, this was wars being brought down on humans, and it's created a society where men needed to be strong and not cry, because you can't cry on the battlefield. You need to fight and kill even people that you look them in the eye and you see this person doesn't deserve being dead, but I have to kill them because I'm fighting for this thing, and I have this general in my back telling me what I need to do. So we do a lot of things that we didn't want to do, and we lost our heart in the process, and we lost our sensitivity. We can see this sometimes with people that's deeply traumatized, that it can lose their actual sensitivity. They can't feel anymore, not pain, not anything. So that trauma has happened to all of masculinity, and now this is the state that they're in. Nothing is fun anymore. So it might be your masculine side is in really bad shape and kind of needs to start to feel the pain of it all, like the pain that you have stored here in your cancer memory. So need to go through all this, and also face shame maybe for people we have killed and molested and raped and whatever we have done, because there's no victim and no perpetrator. We have all been, like, if we have lived on earth for quite some time, we have probably been like kind of everything and seen things from all different situations, and that was why we were here. We were supposed to both throw out the blow, but also feel how it feels receiving it, so we would get complete knowledge. And only way to get real complete knowledge now, when the table has turned and all things is said and done, is to actually digest what we have been through. So heal the trauma. So that's what's needed here. Okay, future, Nine of Swords. So the divine masculine in this case needs to go through pain. Okay, digest pain, feel pain, go to bed, fetal position, cry their eyes out, not getting up for a week or two, having to be fed by the bed maybe. But usually masculine people doesn't react like that. They are like cats. If they hurt, they go underneath a building or something and die alone there without anyone helping them. So that's not going to really help here. You need to reach out to people and show that you're hurt and open up. It doesn't guarantee that anyone would bother, but at least then you need to kind of take care of yourself in this situation, and just no one can ease this pain. You need to digest it bit by bit, and how much you are able to digest, it's up to you and your body to decide how much pain can you take. And it's not a competition. This is like a fine balance between traumatizing yourself again by, yes, bring it on, send the tsunami, all the deaths I have been through. I can die 10,000 deaths today and I can take 10,000 tomorrow. It's fine. That is not going to help you. It might make you, put you in a mental institution eventually. But if you try to feel it 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, and eventually maybe staying with it a half an hour and doing the exercise. I have in my Q&A playlist dealing with pain and doing that work, and journaling, writing, painting maybe the pain that's located somewhere in your body. And maybe starting to remember also the past lives that's connected to there. It doesn't have to be that much. It can just be like a flash image. I have one that I haven't really gone that deep into. I just know that I had a big ship bell on myself when I was drowned, and that caused me to have very shallow breathing. So I haven't really sorted that out just yet, because I wasn't too intrigued by the story. I was drowning, so that wasn't that sad. It's just alive 1 minute and died the next, so I haven't really bothered. But it can be flashes like that. You just see like an image, yourself, your face underwater, something like that. Okay, so and it doesn't, you don't have to dig deep. Actually, you don't have to remember the actual situation. You just have to feel the feeling. My feeling of lying there on the bottom of the sea was that my body was so young, and I had so much hope because I was going somewhere. I had some idea of what would happen, and it ended like really awkward, like, okay, I was dead there suddenly. So it was surprised, we can say. So okay, and here we have the Seven of Cups. So that's kind of memorizing this, what have been, seeing your face underwater maybe. So underwater, that's another song. So underwater. Seven of Cups is the primordial swamp, the original wound, the time when you got hurt. And here this person is taking time to stay in the primordial swamp, like the feeling that you get. You try to climb out, you try to make your life happy, you fill it with things that will make you happy, and then one day, even if everything is fine, you will find yourself here again. And you will think, what now? I have done everything to make myself happy. Why am I here again? Well, you're here again to digest this that once wasn't so happy, that you can't just skip a step. This is 18, the moon, 1 + 8, 9, 9 of swords. And this is kind of the minor arcana moon card. Illusions, memories, trickery, things that eluding us. We don't know exactly why we are feeling in this or that way, or why we are reacting so stupidly to a situation. So people that's very, very fearful, for example, for heights, they usually have fall to their death at several occasions and died in that way. People that's stage fright probably can be, for example, public execution. Okay, so you understand, you need to have better understanding for yourself and not leave yourself out to dry when you have a phobia or something else that's really catching. You don't have to feel like a victim or weak. For example, having panic attacks. Panic attacks is usually the body's way to say, well, we have some truth here that you need to look at, and I'm going to increase the volume until you hear, and you are trying to avoid and just, act normal and behave. And the body is saying, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to increase the volume until you need to hear me. And eventually you will have a panic attack as soon as someone say, hey. And that's because you made yourself so fragile when you didn't listen to the body in the first place. So to become more resilient, you need to listen to the body. And when you do so, you get in frequencies and vibration and wisdom that you need to evolve to the next state of being. It's human evolution is happening like this. So let the evolution come. Take it step by step in the small portions that you are able to. And the beautiful thing is that in the time that we are now, we can actually heal our total male ancestral line and our total feminine ancestral line. We can heal it, and we can do it for our forefathers. The things that they weren't able to solve in themselves in their lifetimes, they died and left it to us. And then next, they couldn't solve it, they died, left it to us. So there's a big luggage here. It's more than 9 swords. Maybe 9 billion swords of things that's not. You can see this with your own parents. The things that they weren't able to solve, you have it as an issue. And the things that you weren't able to solve, your kids will get it. And maybe they will solve it because they are much smarter and they have lighter weight of karma than you had when you were born, because the souls that's coming now is much more lightweight. They haven't the same amount of karma, so it's easier for them as well. But the Earth is ceasing to be a old karmic planet. It's going to be an instant karmic planet, so we are going to grow into more responsibility for our everyday actions. But first we need to clean the Earth and ourselves. So when you feel the pain here, you are like a big black hole, and it's shooting out light, like the sun here, shooting out light in both ends, and it's digesting the darkness wherever it goes. So when you feel the pain, you clear the earth, you help it also to clear from pollution and things like this. So just stay with your pain as much as you can, and then you can change it. So staying with the pain is kind of mindfulness exercise, and then you can go over to meditation and bring in light and beautiful things to get a lighter energy or a lighter feeling inside your body, so you don't slip into too deep of a depression. So we can do this without depression, but many people need to go through the dark night of the soul to be able to do this. But the good thing is that you will be, after that you will be enlightened. So trial by fire, DNA DNA evolution, and also everything that was dark is now processed into light. So you do a good deed just by taking care of your own crap. So that's a good thing. And here we have a Four of Wands, so it seems like it won't be lost, is what you want. The love won't be lost. The Divine Feminine won't lose their love. They are standing here steady, while the Divine Masculine also goes through the dark night of the soul. So nothing is lost. And if you had something and it was really yours, it's still yours, even though you did everything to kind of lose it. So this is real unconditional love. So it will, the people that truly loves you, feminine or masculine, it doesn't matter, they will be there also after this great purge that you are going through. And for many of you Cancers, it might be your other half that's going through this, and maybe you are already like with a lot of self-love and enlightenment, but then you just need to, stay with unconditional love, but don't mess around with the truth, because even if they are fragile, these people that's going through this, they need to hear the truth, and that's what's going to trigger the whole evolutionary thing and the dark night overall. Because when we lie to ourselves, we don't have to face it, but as long as we are avoiding facing it, we are staying in this state of kind of no life. We are more dead than alive, so it's no point. So it's better to be truthful and honest and say what you really mean and what you really want, but still stay with a loving embrace whenever this person is ready to open their heart to you. So I'll read this center card for you. 5 signifies change and often suffering or loss, and 5 is connected to the High Priest, number 5. It's how we learn in society. It's how we gain wisdom. Pentacles signify the material world. Finding this card in a reading may therefore indicate the possibility of material hardship or a crisis, but caution is needed in making this interpretation. The earliest tarot commentaries stated that this card represents a spouse or lover. This may refer to the way in which our material world often changes when we enter into a deep relationship. We may let go of our preoccupations with money, be tempted to act extravagantly, thereby incurring loss, or our material circumstances may radically change. Or as I said in the beginning, that if you love someone, suddenly you have something to lose. Before you didn't, so before you could be careless and free, and when you really have something that matters, you don't want to lose it. You might become very fearful of actually losing it. Divorce usually necessitates a major recognition of our finances and can involve financial loss. The process of breaking down or loss is as necessary as the process of building up or gain, and this idea is conveyed in alchemy in the process of solve et coagula, dissolution and coagulation. As we look back on our lives, we can often trace periods of dissolution when either emotionally or materially our lives seem to unravel, resulting in a sense of falling apart and loss. But later we will have hopefully experienced the sense of coagulation and reforming, this for once here, in which we feel ourselves coming back together, often with our material life rearranging itself in a different way around us. Only then do we realize the positive value in the periods of disillusions. So, yes, it is a downward spiral, but it's downward spiral to suffering, so that we will do this suffering and then become ready to actually receive full love. This is marrying, and this is holy matrimony. This is when two whole people are being able to join together, when you don't have a shadow anymore. We will always have a shadow, like the sun is shining and there's a horse here, there will be a shadow there. But there's more light than a shadow. There's more, you see your own flaws and personal traits, and you know how to use anger, for example, so it won't be coming from your shadow or suddenly just attacking you from nowhere, and you will act erratically. And now you will use anger and say, this is what I want, this is what I need, here's my boundary, and you will be much more clear with things, and you won't use it to destruction as much as you might have done when it was in your shadow. So good things here. It will be a hard journey for some here. But it's just until we accept what is and just, go with the flow. Roll out the red carpet to the pain and say, hello, I need you to heal me in the world, not of the world. So a lot of fishes there. So someone being in deep water. 34. It is safe for you to become naked with life. This doesn't necessarily mean stripping off and running wild in public. It does mean stripping back your beliefs, strongholds, and mental or emotional security blankets so that you can live with less obstruction than ever before. Imagine the conditioning that has kept life away from you, just kept it dropping out of your hands like keys, coins, or clocks. 5 of Pentacles. Conditioned beliefs about money, time, security, having, locking away, holding, controlling can be surrendered and allowed to fall away. What would it be like to feel as though you were on a holiday every day? Perhaps there would be a softening in your way with life, an implicit trust in its flow, and a faith in the ability of time to bend and stretch as needed so that all may be accomplished. It is at an advanced stage of spiritual relationship with life that we are able to feel held within its sufficiently enough to surrender our defenses layer by layer and not nakedly accept what is. This oracle comes with a message to you. Sometimes we need our defenses. At other times, it is clear we are outgrowing them. There is something that you have outgrown now. It has to do with your ideas about productivity, time, control, money. It has to do with abundance, trust, and living with the fundamental belief that everything is going to turn out okay, which this side of you have. You are ready to be much more vulnerable and exposed in life. You don't have to hide behind being organized, perfect, in control, or financially secure and stable. Nor do you need any other acceptable social face. It is time for you to loosen the strings of your own controlling nature. They are too tight and too restrictive for you anyway. You were born to live in a much freer way. When you live as you naturally are, rather than how you have been conditioned to be, you will experience greater joy, freedom, and support. When you are not resisting yourself or resisting life, there is less resisting what you need as it comes to you. If you have also drawn the oracle faith in the process, this is particularly a strong message for you. We haven't been doing that, but it's about shedding. It's about shedding an identity, a status symbol, such a car, home, or suburb, and it could even be a socially admired relationship. You are shedding because no matter what the appearance of things, those old forms were too constricting for you. It is almost like your spirit was trying to walk about in shoes several sizes too small. They were starting to pinch, the seams were ripping, and eventually they would fall apart completely. Likewise, you're stripping of internal beliefs that are failing you, perhaps externally as well. Whether this seems to be your choice or not, make no mistakes. It is your own spirit in cahoots with the loving spirit of life that has brought this situation about. Here's your soul. Yes, so you're being guided to trust. If you have also, which you haven't, you understand now that this is a freeing time for you. After letting go, there comes a temporary emptiness that provides a greater space for fulfillment to come forth. So we need a little healing process here to find a higher wisdom of self and be guided through this little bit of dark night here. So I surrender all my relationships into unconditional love and ask that the truly nourishing, soul-enriching, expansive and nurturing relationships be healed and drawn closer to my heart. I ask that the draining, depleting, destructive or toxic relationship be drawn out of my life through unconditional love, mercy, grace, and my own free will, so be it. And I'm thinking it's mostly your relationship with yourself that needs you to kind of lose the mask. At least admit to yourself what you're really feeling here and what's really going on. You don't have to keep the mask up for yourself. And we start there. You will be able to let the world know also eventually. And mostly it's about opening one's heart. Opening one's heart to what we really want instead of what other wants for us or what we should want for ourselves. And here comes the things that you really want, the things that are truly valuable in your life. And there's abundance and eternal life and beautiful stability for you while you are going through this. So nothing is really lost. It's just that you are going through a transformation where your masculine side needs to let go of control. Okay, so this is what's happening. I hope this will help. I want you to take really good care. I also want to invite you to my website, www.queenofcupstarot.se. I also want to welcome you back to the mid-month reading for August that I will perform in the beginning of August. And until then, have a beautiful summer and bye-bye.